Okay guys, welcome back. Today we're doing some more jiu-jitsu breakdowns. On this segment, I'm doing a breakdown of one of my students, Kevin Masterson. He had a very tough fight in the Toro Cup, the very famous Toro Cup, against a very good opponent. And so we're going to look at what happened, how he was able to connect positions, and really talk about how he was actually falling behind. He was losing, and then he came back from behind and ended up winning with the choke. All right. So you see them here. They're about to get ready to fight. The game plan was simple. Kevin, by the way, Kevin works a lot with these different types of leg locks and chokes. We try to focus more at our squat fundamentals, but he really wanted to come in with these different techniques. So the first thing he's going to do is try to trap his sleeve to do like a wrist lock. So if you notice, he sets up this wrist lock here, but he doesn't quite finish. And right there, he ducks underneath, trying to get either a wrist lock or a throw. If the person doesn't want to get wrist lock, he throws. But his opponent is pretty technical and pretty strong that he just is able to bring him back and square up and then sprawl. So you can see that again. This is a good technique, very good for self-defense, and obviously good for competition. What probably should have happened is instead of just jumping right to it, he probably should have gone for like a judo throw, maybe set it up a little bit better, and he would have probably had a better chance of getting it. But because he just gets his grip and goes, I think he gives his opponent time to kind of react. So we'll play this slow motion. Right there, he's able to just let go and come back out. He's able to let go of the grip and then come back to a sprawl. But good, I mean, it was a good attempt. His opponent is very good, like I said. He's won a lot of matches and tournaments. And then he was going to try to do some sort of takedown. I know he had expressed interest in trying to do some takedowns, but instead he focuses on pulling guard. And he starts his setup. Works shin to shin, goes to a sit-up guard, feeds the sleeve, and actually does very well here. He rocks him back and forth, does an off balance. Right, you see how he off balances him just with a simple sit up, and he's able to off balance him, but he's not able to finish the sweep because if he had rocked back and forth versus to his right shoulder, he probably would have had a better chance. For example, right here, he can just come up, but instead he kind of just takes him to his side. Also, if you notice, his left foot shouldn't be on the ground. It should actually be closer to his opponent's hamstring. And again, instead of going to his right side, he should probably really focus on falling back flat, because then his opponent can't post with that other hand. And if he does post, Kevin would be underneath his hips, which would be easier. But because he's not underneath his hips, he's far away from the hips. His opponent's able to actually brace himself with his head and rebalance himself to come up. And so then Kevin goes for one leg X, which is really good. He's got this ashigarami, and he's trying to tie up a leg lock, but here's the problem is he didn't create any separation. What he could have done with his right leg is probably stuff it underneath his opponent's armpit, maybe kick the butt and rock him back and forth again, but he doesn't lock that position. He kind of retreats from the one leg X to kind of recompose his guard, but this ironically is what makes his opponent pass right here. So again, some stuff Kevin can work on is if he has, first of all, the sit-up guard, really focus on finishing. If he doesn't have the sit-up guard, really lock in this X guard, this one leg X to X guard, like maybe feed the ankle to his shoulder and put the inside foot all the way to his opponent's inside leg, and then feed that left foot to an X guard, and then he can finish the X guard or go for the leg lock, since he really likes leg locks. But instead, he is just retreating, and then his opponent immediately passes. So because of that moment of indecisiveness on Kevin's part, this was the window of opportunity for his opponent. And like I said, his opponent is both technical and pretty strong. He was able to capitalize very simply with this easy pass on Kevin. So right here, Kevin's got to make a decision. He's got to commit to this one leg X, this X guard, or shin to shin or sit up, or he's got to abandon those grips and completely frame to create distance and to keep his opponents away. Now, this is obviously a jiu-jitsu match in a self-defense situation. He would not want to be sitting up like this. He would want to be flat on his back and really creating distance and kicking up. But he is playing the game, and when you play the game, you lose by the game. And so, very good part on his opponent passing here. Really good side control by his opponent, putting his right arm in between Kevin's legs and really controlling the match from here. Starts working a lapel. Kevin gets an underhook, turtles, and then recomposes the guard, which is very good. And now they're in half guard. So this was a good guard, guard recovery. I remember coaching Kevin at this point saying, hey, make sure you control the sleeve and really work on off balancing him, which I always talk about in my videos. And then his opponent starts going knee slice, starts cutting the knee across, and then he does one of my favorite passes. I love this pass, and it is the what we call the some people call it folding pass. Some people call it the knee slice against the knee shield. I just really enjoy this pass because it works all the time. He's controlling the bottom. He's controlling the bottom knee, controlling Kevin's own sleeve since Kevin is trying to control his sleeve, and definitely has the upper hand in this position. And so what you're going to see Kevin do here is he's going to set up a very sneaky loop choke. Kevin is known for this at the school. He does them all the time. He's caught me on him before. If you fall asleep on him, he'll catch you too, and he'll really start to work this into his game. I teach loop chokes every once in a while, but our school's not known for loop chokes, and our school's mainly known for fundamentals and some modern jiu-jitsu, of course. But every now and then I'll teach options where they can loop choke. This variation of a loop choke is completely from Kevin's game. He joined my school a few years ago and already was really strong with them. And he's really developed them even more. And I think he's developed them even more because his fundamentals have really improved, and also his open guard and his passing has really improved. So now has multiple threats that he sneaks these in when you don't realize. And if you see here, his left hand is already sneaking through that collar. His right hand is controlling the sleeve to buy him time. And he actually, for the loop choke to work, it invites the pass. So his opponent picks his hips up high, head low, which is the right thing to do to pass. However, if you're going to get loop choke or you're threatened with the loop choke, this is a point where you break the grip or you pummel your head underneath the arm, or you go the other way so you don't get loop choked. But because he's so good at, his opponent is so good at this passing game, which I really like, by the way, is my style of passing too. He gets caught with this sneaky loop choke. And so as he goes around, he's already in tight. The only thing his opponent could have done to get out of this is actually retreat back to the guard to get his head out. But because he keeps trying to pass, and because his right arm is controlling the bottom knee, which is, again, really good fundamentals passing, he's actually going into the choke. So that's why it's very sneaky, because it goes against what we're taught. Usually when we're passing, we want our head low, we want our hips high, we want to continue to pressure pass. However, if they have a sleeve on the collar wrapped around the neck like this, it's usually a bad sign. And I know most of the guys who train want to pass, but in this instance, you kind of want to go back to the guard, break the grip, and maybe do some high posture passing. So as he continues passing, Kevin throws his head underneath right here, and he keeps walking, and now his head's underneath. He's got the full-on grip on the collar, and now he's pushing forward with his head down and his hips up high, and that's the choke right there. Right there, he's finished the choke, and it was all because of this setup. His opponent is very tough. I know him pretty well. Super nice guy, super technical and super strong. Has won a lot of tournaments in the past, and just got caught this time. And you know, it was a great match. They fought before in a jiu-jitsu combat jiu-jitsu match, and it was different. It was a different type of match. It was no gi. This one was gi, and so it was great to see these guys put on a show and put on a very entertaining fight. You know, his opponent again is super tough and just got caught with this sneaky loop choke. So I'll play it one more time. Some things you could learn from this on both sides is, when you're passing, be very careful with those collar grips. If you're on the bottom, notice Kevin does a great job with controlling the sleeve, creating distance, using the knee shield to keep him from passing right away, and slowly sneaking his left arm across that. And we're going to have Kevin on the YouTube channel show this technique because it's really, really sneaky and really cool. Again, this isn't my style of play. I don't really go for loop chokes. I've been caught in them before, especially when I'm really tired and I just want to pass, and that's when you get caught. You try to pass, for me at least, in my experience, and then you're going into the loop choke. So advice for the person passing is like really focus on breaking the grips, or like I said, if you feel it's too late, walk back into the guard and really focus on passing the other way, or go back into the guard and re-pummel your head outside. For the guy on bottom, really work on your guard retention. Kevin, there's a lot to be said. Kevin was able to pull this off because his fundamentals are good, because he trains consistently every week, because he has a very good sense of the self-defense portion, of the sport competition portion that we do in our classes. So he's very well-rounded. It's why he's able to recover the guard really well, and he's able to stay very calm and technical. Do not make the mistake of just learning loop chokes and having a pretty crappy guard. You don't want to do that because that's not going to improve your jiu-jitsu. It's really about learning your fundamentals, focusing on your self-defense, focusing on your competition, training it all, but really incorporating the loop choke into your game as part of the whole package. And so I say that so that way you don't misunderstand this breakdown and say, oh, loop chokes are amazing, just learn loop chokes. No, it's like everything else. Learn your fundamentals. He was able to do this because his fundamentals were there, and props to his opponent. His opponent is very tough and is very good. He just got caught from this situation, which ironically is from a very similar passing style that we teach at our school, that Lucas has really taught us and that we continue to work on. So it goes to show, a lot of the guys, when we try to go with Kevin, we play the same game. So for Kevin, it was very easy to transition from the training partners to his opponent's game. Kevin's game is very unique. It's hard to mimic his style, so it would be hard to prepare for a match against someone like him. He's actually very frustrating to roll with at the school. We train all the time, and he knows he's frustrating, but he's also very fun to roll with, so I enjoy having Kevin. So I'll play one more time just so you guys can see it at normal speed. So he sets up the knee shield, has a sleeve grip, is working the collar grip, good fundamentals, continues to create distance, and he's off balancing his opponent too. He could have been doing this more in the beginning, but it's okay because he ends up doing it now. And as his opponent does a really nice pass, he connects the collar grip, shoots his head through, and once he's passed, it's kind of the beginning of the end, and then he finishes the loop choke there and ends up winning the match. It was a great match. Great job. Great job for both these athletes, putting on an awesome show. It was one of the earliest matches, so it kind of set the tone for the rest of the event. Toro Cup does an amazing job with their event. They bring amazing competition from blue belt all the way to black belt level, from lightweights all the way to heavyweights. It's really fun to watch. So it was an honor to be able to coach Kevin throughout this, and an honor to have his opponent compete against them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section. Like and subscribe for more of these videos. We'll be doing more breakdowns from here, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And if there's anything else you want to see, let us know. Hope you guys enjoyed. Take care.